Good evening, Redbox family. I have some great news for you. We got an S4 filing today that was filed under CSSE. So let me let you know what's going on and why I am bullish on it. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and let's get into it. Okay, guys, so I did not find this under Redbox filings. I found it under CSSE, Chicken Soup for the Soul, the company that is acquiring Redbox. And it's an amendment to their Form S1 for their shares. And it basically goes in to explain how the shares are going to be divided. Again, I think everybody knows by now that once this merger goes through, which according to the filing, there's no doubt in my mind it's going to go through, and we'll get into that in just a minute. But for every share of Redbox, you will get 0.087 of a share of CSSE. So again, guys, Redbox is not a I'm holding this stock forever play at this time. This is only a squeeze these shorts out of their position prior to the CSSE acquisition and get it to run type of move. Now, let's take a look. So, guys, again, this tells them that this is not a new offering for shares or anything like this, and this does not require the CSSE shareholders to vote because that has already been done. So that's basically what this says in all of this paperwork here, okay? Then we're going to go back and we're going to look at the Redbox paperwork. So, guys, Redbox put out a notice to their shareholders of a special meeting, okay? And what it says is that Redbox shareholders are cordially invited to attend the virtual meeting that's going to be held on August 9th, 2022 at 10 a.m., at which time they'll be voting on the proposed merger dated May 10th by Redbox and CSSE. And what that means is that they, like I said all along, that before this merger can go through, we are not going to wake up and find out, oh shoot, we have 0.087 of a share of CSSE. No, guys, that's not going to happen because they have to have a shareholder vote before this can occur. And guys, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't know any other way of saying this, but our vote does not matter one freaking bit because we do not have controlling ownership. Now, remember that big filing that came out that was talking about, are they going to release all these new shares on us? No, guys, they're not going to release all these new shares on us because that was done, in my opinion, from the little bit that I've read into this. That was done to give them controlling ownership to make sure that this vote goes through. It had nothing to do with issuing new shares onto the market. It had to do with assuring that they had complete ownership and that we could not change the voting power. Okay? So, like I said, this is not a forever hold. This is just a play on squeezing these shorts out. We know now that holders of record of shares of Redbox common stock at the close of business on July 11th are entitled to notice of and to vote at the Redbox special meeting and any adjournments or postponements of the Redbox special meeting, guys. So this is telling you that as a shareholder on record as of today, that you are entitled to vote. That's it. That the date is August 9th. Like I said, our vote doesn't freaking matter. And let me see, because I can show you. I highlighted it. Oh, maybe it was here. No, that's the notice that you're able to vote. Okay, guys. The completion of the merger is subject to approval by the stockholders of Redbox at a special meeting thereof to be held on August 9th, 2022. Redbox AP8 Aspen Holdings LP, a Delaware Limited Partnership. Blah, 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 blah. Now, the Redbox majority stockholders collectively hold on aggregate 6,119,738 shares, or 44.7% of Redbox Class A common stock, and 32 6,770,000 shares, or 100% of Redbox Class B common stock, which represent approximately 83.7% of the total outstanding shares of Redbox common stock. Now, does this number look familiar to you guys? Because it should, because it goes back to a filing that was done. And I'm going to tell you why those Class B shares are when I read this. The Redbox Class A common stock and Redbox Class B common stock vote together as a single class, and accordingly, the Redbox majority stockholders own shares of Redbox common stock constituting approximately 83.7% of the voting power of Redbox. Again, the Redbox Class A, which, guys, Redbox majority stockholders collectively own 6,119,738 shares of Class A common stock. Okay, so go back. The majority stockholders who own Redbox common stock will vote together. And the majority stockholders who own Redbox common stock constituting approximately 83% of the voting power of Redbox, which is more than the majority necessary to approve matters submitted to the stockholders of Redbox for a vote. Okay? The majority stockholders, again, hold on. Let's go back and read this so you guys can get this and understand, because it's very important. The Redbox Class A common stock and Redbox Class B common stock vote together as a single class, and accordingly, here's the important part. The Redbox majority stockholders own shares of Redbox common stock constituting approximately 83.7% of the voting power of Redbox. So the majority stockholders own 83.7% of Redbox. This is why, guys, our vote doesn't matter. But it's more than the majority necessary to approve matters submitted to the stockholders of Redbox for a vote. Pursuant to the Redbox voting agreement, the Redbox majority holders have agreed, among other things, to vote their shares of Redbox in favor of any strategic transaction approved and recommended by the Redbox board, subject to certain terms and conditions, which would include the integrated mergers. So, guys, this right here basically says what I told you to begin with. Our vote does not matter. Guys, we can't save Redbox. It's a done deal. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, unless the board suddenly says, oh, no, we decided it's not in our best interest to go through this deal. But guys, according to this, that's not what they're saying. They're saying it's a done deal. Okay, now here we go. This notice of action by written consent and the proxy statement information statement prospectus shall constitute notice to you from CSSE that the CSSE stock issuance has been approved by the holders of a majority of the voting power of the CSSE outstanding voting shares pursuant to the CSSP written consent in lieu of a meeting in accordance with the merger agreement in Section 228 of the Delaware General Corporate Law. So this is because the CSSE members have approved this, guys. Okay, so they don't have to have their own vote. Their side is done. But we have to have a vote, which is going to be on the 9th and again of August. And again, it doesn't freaking matter. So we have a few more weeks now to squeeze Redbox. Okay? Now, let me show you why it's still possible. Okay, guys, I have not seen the Ortex yet for today, but this is from the weekend. We are still on the threshold. The short interest is 151.06%. of the free float. And the cost to borrow, guys, is an average of 562.23% with a max of 652.66%. And guys, even that little number's gone, which is huge. So the minimum is 534.85%. This is the reason why I think that we can still squeeze them, guys. And I believe that you're going to see these numbers either stayed around the same or went up today. I am sure that because the price has not been moving up, that people are losing interest and probably going to other plays to try to pull in some income until this runs again. But guys, based on the news that we got, I do believe that this runs again this week because people are going to realize, if we spread the word, that Redbox still has a play left in it. The biggest fear that everybody has right now is that they're going to go to sleep and wake up and CSSE is going to be worth, basically, that Redbox is going to be worth 0.087% of a share of CSSE, which is pennies, guys. So this goes to show everybody that we have until August 9th to squeeze these shorts. So if we all band together and start working on this, guys, they're going to be squeezed out. Let's hope. Let's pray. That's what I see happening. Let's take a look at the charts and we'll see what they tell us. Okay, guys, so looking at the daily chart, as you can see today, we had a general move in the downward direction. We did try to come back up when the 13 crossed above the 48, but it was quickly brought back down. But guys, in the after hours, it is curling back to the upside. So it looks like it's probably going to head that way for tomorrow, and I believe with the filings that we just talked about, you will see a move up because, in my opinion, from what I've read so far, they are quite bullish given that we have until August 9th shareholders meeting to get this to run and just try to squeeze these shorts out. So let's go look at what the 1-year chart is doing. Okay, guys, I added some indicators to the chart because I want to be able to go over them with you because I do feel that they are important. Now, looking at the chart for the 1 year, we do see that we got the 48 crossing over the 200, the golden cross. But guys, at the same time, we've had the 13 moving average cross below the 20 moving average, and it's trying to cross right now below the 48. Now, in my opinion, it's going to dip below and then we're going to curve back up. Now, I want you to look at the last time we saw this happen. So it was way back here in the beginning of April. After the 13 crossed above the 48, it dipped below for just briefly in mid-April, right? And then it curled right back up, and that's when we started seeing big movements, guys. The first one was that move from $2 all the way up to $11. Then it dipped a little bit, never went back below the 48, and then we got our big run up to that 18 plus range, right? So I'm hoping that it briefly dips below and does the same thing, and we head back up, guys, for a big move to the upside. So I would expect with that filing, based on the low volume, that's the reason that they've been able to play with this price action, which in my opinion, guys, I don't know. I mean, I'm just going to call a spade a spade. This stock is one of the most manipulated stocks in the market, clearly. So when there's low volume, they're able to get away with a lot more, which is why you see the big spreads in price during the day. So we need to get volume in here. And I'm hoping that this announcement about the shareholders meeting on August 9th will get people who ran because they were afraid about the date to run back in for the next big run. Because I do believe this is going to have one more big run in it. And I do believe that because I am sure that there are warrants still on the table that people want to exercise. And guys, it's not even worth their while to exercise those warrants unless the price goes like about $13.50 or higher. Because whatever they paid for the warrants, they then have to pay the $11 exercise price. So think about that. I mean, granted, some people, if they're buying and trading the warrants now when they're trading in that 40-50 cent range or whatever they are, then they only need to get it above $11.50 to make it worth their while. But other than that, guys, the people who bought them for, the $2-3 they were trading at or higher, They need it to go a lot higher before it comes in their interest to exercise them. And quite clearly, we don't really give a crap if they exercise them at this point or not, because there are so many shorts in this play right now that with the price staying the way it is, for them to have to pay that for another month and a half to have that shareholders meeting, which is, again, just nothingness, basically, but it buys us more time and it proves that we have more time, guys. Like I told you for all along, there would be more filings, right? So anyways, it's bullish, and I'd like to see this have that brief dip and cross back over. I do believe that we continue to the upside later in the week, which is why I stated even without that earlier today that it's time to turn this around and get green, because I saw this writing on the wall, guys. So now look at the MACD. As you can see, it crossed below, which is, very bearish, way back over here when it was like $13, $14, right? But now, guys, it's starting to curve. So now we want to see that curve up and cross back over to the upside and get another substantial run. The RSI has cooled off, which is great. We want that to happen. So it's right now at 41. We'd like to see it back over 50 and to stay 50 and higher, guys. Again, that 50 to 70 range is ideal, because once it starts getting above 70, close to 80, then it starts needing to cool off again, right? But I think that we can sustain a substantial run at this level, and I really believe that today's news was extremely bullish. So let's excuse me. Can't even get out what I want to say because I'm so excited about the news that broke today. And the best part was, guys, it was hidden. It wasn't even under Redbox. It was under CSSE, but I tend to check both because I know what games get played. So they did not want us to see this, in my opinion. So anyways, it's great news, and I'm extremely bullish going into tomorrow, guys. So I hope you are too after watching. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe.